Hi, Crime Junkie jury. I'm Lauren Conlin, and I am outside of 500 Pearl Street, the federal courthouse, where Sean Combs was just acquitted on 3 of the most serious charges that he was charged with about 20 minutes ago. Sean Combs was convicted on the 2 Mann Act violations, but acquitted on racketeering and the sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura and quote-unquote Jane. Now, let me tell you, the mood in the courtroom this morning, I mean, it was somber. Diddy walked in and he prayed with his family and some of his friends that have been in the courtroom really since day one. And they left. We broke for about 52 minutes, from 9 to 9:52, let's say, around there. And the deputy clerk came back in and said there was a note and the jury had reached a verdict. And so immediately, we were kind of whispering in the gallery, and we went from whispering totally normal to, and it was a mood. So when the jury walked in, I mean, as soon as the foreperson said not guilty on racketeering and not guilty on the sex trafficking of Cassie, I mean, gasps, shock, excitement. It was truly a moment. And Diddy was clasping hands with Tenny Garagos, one of his attorneys. And then as soon as the remainder of the verdicts were read, I mean, he had his head in his hands. He was thanking the jury profusely. He would turn around and look at his family. I mean, it was emotional for them. And then Mark Agnifilo stood up immediately and he said, look, my client has been acquitted of some of the most serious charges here. He should be released. He should be released because he was acquitted on some of the most serious charges here, you know, and he should go home to 2-Star Island, you know, wear an ankle monitor, and that's that. He also asked for, you know, for him to be released on $1 million bail. And it was clear that Maureen Comey, she stood up and it was clear she was not taking this as a loss. Like, she was like, Your Honor, this is, you know, this conviction is still serious, and let's not forget the conduct around this conviction, the violence, the drug use. So she made it clear that she will be seeking the maximum sentence, which she cited was 20 years. I mean, I think that most people believe he could get 2 years with time served. That's speculation. Mark Agnifilo stood back up and said, you know, Your Honor, I mean, the conduct, he's been acquitted of this type of conduct. So they have a few hours to get these motions in as to why he should be released on bail awaiting sentencing and why he should stay in the MDC. And I believe the judge will make a decision by today. Now, at one point, the judge looked at Diddy and said, you know, Mr. Combs, I know you don't want to go back to the MDC. And he said, no. So that was pretty funny. And it's been a madhouse here. I mean, this is the back of the courtroom. You can hear. This is the back of the courtroom, but in the front, there are tons of supporters, a lot more press. You know, the free puff shirts are running rampant right now. And it's crazy because this was such a historical trial, and for it all to be over just like that, and you know, it's just a crazy feeling. And I think a lot of people who are shocked about this verdict, I think people inside the courtroom, many people are not shocked just based on the government's case. I think if I had to say something about this trial and about this case, I think that the civil suits and the media headlines prior to the trial really seemed to poison the court of public opinion. Many people thought there would be minors, there would be GHB mentioned in the baby oil, and celebrity sex tapes. There was nothing like that. The government's case, it really, you know, it could have gone both ways depending on the jury. Clearly, because it's centered around freak-offs. It's centered around Sean Combs taking his girlfriends to these hotels to engage in threesomes, so to speak. And again, the government had alleged, you know, force, fraud, and coercion, and the jury just didn't feel that way. And as far as racketeering goes, I mean, these predicate acts, they had to have found that he did these with a co-conspirator. And I think that was the tough part. They may have found his businesses to be legit businesses, and that these people that worked for him, they weren't co-conspirators. They weren't exactly foot soldiers. So we'll find out soon enough if he will go home while he awaits sentencing. But man, what a day.